What's up, everybody? NFL is back. It is back. And I'll tell you what, to say people are not excited would be an understatement, right? Would be an understatement. Give me a second here as I bring everybody in. I'll tell you, man, this is what we've been waiting for. This is what we've been excited for. But so many different storylines going into tonight, and I'm ready, man. I am ready. What a game we get to watch tonight. I mean, listen, you can't say enough about it. You get two powerhouses going against each other. Obviously, there's some injuries to report when we talk about Brandon Cooks maybe not going to play, maybe not 100% healthy. Not a shocker to me. But the other part of the scenario is, this is a game where let's remember the playoffs, right? Let's remember what had happened when we talk about the NFL playoffs last year between Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. So this is a new team. This is a new team for the Houston Texans. And I'll be honest, we know this team is only going to go as far as Deshaun Watson takes them. But I thought there was an interesting development going on today. And again, I always scroll through and we see the scenario of, what the national perspective has and what they're talking about. And today it's, you see on ESPN, it's all about Eagles, Cowboys, right? Who's better, top to bottom. And I'm going to be honest with you right now. We are in a spot where I don't know who's better. I don't. I'm not going to argue one or the other because I think these are two very solid teams. I really do. I think that right now we're in a spot where we have a brand new coach, right, in Mike McCarthy in Dallas. We have an entirely new offense. I mean, Kellen Moore is still there, but you add CeeDee Lamb in the front, and you're going to involve Blake Jarwin a little more. You sign Amari Cooper to a big money deal. You have Michael Gallup. Obviously, you have Zeke, and you have Dak. For my money, that could be the MVP of the National Football League this year. So it's really hard, for me to say who's better because then you look at the other side of the Eagles. We're really not sure what they are going to be as health. Who is Carson Wentz going to throw to week in and week out? We've talked about that. So to get in this who's better debate, I put it up there just get to kind of give everybody a perspective of what direction I'm heading in this morning. But it's mainly because that's all I seen today is who's better. And I think one thing for sure is this entire division is better. The NFC East is entirely better because of the rampant changes that happen beyond the Philadelphia Eagles, because of Mike McCarthy, because of Ron Rivera, right? Because of Joe Judge, Jason Garrett now as the offensive coordinator, right? Candace Sexton, what's up, Candace? There's nobody in the Cowboys secondary. Yeah, Byron Jones is gone. He's a Miami Dolphin right now, right? So, I mean, listen, their defense is interesting, but I'll tell you what, I look at our linebacker and say, who beyond that defensive front for the Philadelphia Eagles is going to do any kind of damage? I have no faith. I have no faith in our linebacking core. So their secondary to me is like our linebacking core. Now, thankfully, we were able to get Darius Slay. Right. Thankfully, Darius Slay is here, and he is going to go off, in my opinion. He will be the guy that we expect him to be, a guy that's been wasted in Detroit. So many people, I mean, listen, Barry Sanders, he retired because he was wasted in Detroit, right? I mean, let's face it. Poor Barry Sanders wasted an entire career under Wayne Fontenot out there in Detroit. So I feel for Darius Slay. I do. I know he's made some money and he'll continue to make some money. But hey, listen, how about listen real fast? How about that Jalen Ramsey extension? Was anybody shocked that after Jalen Ramsey played so poorly last year when he came over from the Jacksonville Jaguars, that they gave him $105 million? I would listen. I'm going to be honest with you. I was all in on Jalen Ramsey train. I really was. I wanted him here because I wanted somebody who was established to play cornerback for the Philadelphia Eagles. But $105 million. Crazy. Such a Rams thing to do. Yeah, listen, you're absolutely right. It is exactly what the Rams do, right? They sign these guys at big money deals. I mean, deservingly so or not. I mean, the Todd Gurley thing really nipped them in the ass a little bit because they did give him so much money, and it's amazing how all of a sudden, he had the arthritic knee, and that was creeping up, and he couldn't play, and we know everything that's going on out there. Did the NFL catch up? Did the NFL catch up to McDreamy out there and Sean McVay? Did they? I mean, it's crazy. It's like they're going to win the Elmo, but they can't deliver. Listen, they have the quarterback, right? I mean, listen, that's the thing. They have Jared Goff. They have a quarterback. They have Cooper Kupp. They have Rashawn Woods. I mean Robert Woods. They have the guys in the Rams uniform that can do damage. But right now, you look at, is Cam Akers going to be the running back for them? Is Cam Akers going to be the guy that delivers to them for the running back position? Is their defense going to hold up? You have two centerpieces right now in Aaron Donald and in Jalen Ramsey. So the Rams are a very interesting pick to me. And in the NFC West, of all divisions, one of the toughest divisions of football, especially now when you look at the way it's going to pan out. I'll tell you what, man, they have some very interesting questions to answer, and they have a tough road to get to where they need to go. I could tell you that. But listen, when we talk about the Eagles right now, listen, Jason Peters playing left tackle. Right? For all the people that battled me about Jason Peters, they said he couldn't play the position, right? Even my own co-host battled me. And we'll get into that tonight about how nobody wanted him. But his agent was able to get him $8 million, a contract of upwards of $8 million. And you know why? Because the Philadelphia Eagles got smart. They looked at tape and they seen how terrible the offensive line play was, and they were going to get Carson Wentz killed. Now, you could say whatever you want about Jason Peters, right? Candace, exactly. He just got new money. And you know what? Here's my hats off to JP. I stand with JP. People have argued with me all week about him being a selfish player. People, this is a business. When you're 38 years old, right? When you're 38 years old and you have built a reputation and you have built a Hall of Fame career at the left tackle spot, there is no discounts anymore. There's not. He has done everything. He wants to set the market as a 38-year-old left tackle who could still play with Pro Bowl aspirations. Whether he makes it or not, who knows? But that's what he wants to do. And you know what? My hat's off to him. Listen, we get caught up way too much in this for the love of the game talk, right? Come on, man. It's like Jerry Maguire said, it's all about the money, right? That's what it's about. You're kidding yourself if you don't think this is about the money. Stop with all the hometown discounts. You know what hometown discounts are, honestly? Hometown discounts are handshake deals that happen behind closed doors. That's what it is. Stuff that me and you don't see. These are the things that happen on a day-to-day basis that are not reported. So you think these discounts are absolutely legitimate? You're reading way too much into it. I'm telling you right now. Candace checking in said JP is legit. We needed him. Absolutely. Never believed in Dillard fully. Candace, me and you, as always, on the same page. I was talking about this all offseason. I was not happy about Andre Dillard. And what happened is, here's the thing about Andre Dillard. When you don't get any kind of vote of confidence, when you don't get any positive press until one of your starting offensive linemen get injured, you know there's a problem. And we did not start hearing Andre Dillard's name until Brandon Brooks went down. Andre Dillard was still having a tough time out there. He was getting bull rushed with frequency. He was not moving properly. He put some weight on purposely. It didn't work. He still was a mental midget when it came to the practice field. So that's a problem. That's a problem. This is year 2 now. And I understand he got hurt, but this would have been year 2 of a guy you moved up for to get as your heir apparent, and it's not working. And who knows what the future is going to bring, right? Who knows? We have no idea what the future is going to bring for Andre Dillard. Absolutely. But all I know is the last vision I had of Eagles football was Carson Wentz going into the blue tent. That's what I seen, and I don't want that to happen again. And JP, 38 years old or not, doesn't matter. He is your best option to protect Carson Wentz. Exactly. Joe Osteen was giving him the business, right? Joe Osteen, man, Exactly. Andre, what's up, buddy? Checking in as always. Andre, 100%. We can get that emoji and we can put it all over Twitter because you're exactly on my same page, my man. I don't want to hear anything negative about JP. Nothing. Until you show me another guy that can take those reins and be that tackle and protect your blind side, I don't want to hear nothing about it. He should have been here. Listen, the Eagles dropped the ball on this from day one. So you know what? Because they gave him some extra money, good for him. Good for JP. He deserves it. And listen, I don't want to hear the argument about how many games has he finished. I don't want, listen, I'm so tired of that. I'm so tired of that. Listen, when you look at the NBA, do we all talk about the guys that don't play back to backs, right? Do we want to get in that that conversation when we talk about minutes, managed minutes, right? Do we want to get into that? Because it happens all the time, and it happens from players that are younger than 38 years old. So Jason Peters is 100% the number one option, the premium option at left tackle. And I am so glad that he is going to be suiting up for on Sunday. Now, let's talk about this game tonight. Let's talk about, because the NFL is back, man. The NFL is back. And I was getting so hyped last night. Did a fantasy show last night. Going to do another. We're going to do the Heat Ratio pod tonight live. So please, everybody, join in tonight. 9:15. We will be live. All four of us, me, Mike, Coach Dave, Pittsburgh John. We will be on the quad box tonight. We will be previewing the Eagles season. We will be previewing the NFL, give some predictions, as long as give us some live updates of the game. Because listen, we want to talk football, right? We absolutely want to talk football because this is what we've been waiting for. This is all football week. All football week, man. I think the offense. Mike checks in. What's up, buddy? Mikey V always coming out. I think the offense struggled tonight. I don't think so. I don't. I think, this kind of is the same scenario we see with the NBA. And the NBA, even though they were in a bubble and the NBA season was paused and then restarted, all we heard about in the pause was, oh, man, these guys, they're going to be rusty. They're going to be slow. It's going to take a while for the offense to pick up. And they came out blazing. They came out balling. I have no doubt in my mind, especially when you talk about this is a rematch of the playoffs, and you remember what it absolutely happened in that game. They were throwing fireworks in that game, right? And all of a sudden, 45, 51 points by Kansas. It was insane what they were able to do to come back in that game. Bill O'Brien should have been fired on the spot after that game. He should have been fired on the spot. He's a fraud to me. And then the best thing he does in the offseason is trade his number one wide receiver. How ridiculous is that, right? Mike said, whose total will be high? 29-9 last night. How about that? 29-9. Who the hell would have thought you would see a score of baseball at 29? And how about Adam Duvall? It is amazing. There are teams, and the Atlanta Braves and the St. Louis Cardinals are the two teams, in my opinion. They always take guys that they come from, I don't say nothing, but they kind of have a career that's kind of on a downslide, and all of a sudden they get rebuilt. I mean, look at Marcell Ozuna out there in Atlanta. Look at guys back in the day like Matt Holliday. Matt Holliday goes to Arizona Cardinals, becomes a fixture once again. I mean, you could talk about that all day long, but it's a crazy, man. It's 2-3 home run games in 1 year. It's wild. And talk about the ball not being juiced. I still got Houston tonight. Andre, that's a very interesting. I see a lot of people taking Houston. I do, and I keep hearing the Super Bowl hangover. Right? We hear about that all the time, but I can't do it. I can't do it. I think, especially if we're already talking about a hammy with Brandon Cooks, who's supposed to take over. Obviously, Will Fuller will be on the field. We don't know what David Johnson is going to be. Where do I say? I don't know. They need him. Kansas already seconded about David Johnson. David Johnson. He's not an old man. That's the thing. He's just. Listen, he got injured And then he came back into a system he wasn't prepared to learn. You have to remember, he came back to a system and he wasn't right, wasn't fully healthy. So he was learning on the fly last year in a Cliff Kingsbury system with a rookie quarterback, with a new offensive line. There were so many different things last year that fell into the lap of David Johnson, because of it, obviously now he has a change of scenery. Him and Kenyon Drake switch spots a little bit. And obviously we'll see what happens. I mean, Kenyon Drake, he had a great 8 game last year for Arizona. So I think Arizona probably found their guy, and David Johnson could be reborn. David Johnson could be in line to be that third guy in Houston, right? And what I mean by that is, Arian Foster, Steve Slayton, these guys had tremendous fantasy football seasons under the Houston Texan emblem. So David Johnson definitely could be that next guy, without a doubt. I'm curious to see what he looks like. Andre says not taking it because of the hangover. He's talking about the underrated. Listen, I'll tell you what, Andre, one thing for sure, there is no defense. No defense. When you talk about the Houston Texans, J.J. Watt, you have Watt and Merciless, who are it to me. That is, they don't have a cornerback that can probably cover me. So this is the reason why I really think, I know it's underrated, but I still, because obviously J.J. Watt is the leader. I think they can produce a little bit, but their secondary is horrific. It really is. I think their linebacking core is very underrated. So I will say their top 7 from their 4-3, I think, is underrated. I think you're right. But the problem is they couldn't cover me. And you're going to have guys out there like Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins and Jason Kelsey and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, right? McCole Hardman. These guys are going to be running all over the field. And then you have Patrick Mahomes. I mean, if anybody could balance it, it definitely will be J.J. Watt. If the Chiefs win, I'll send you a custom anomaly. I'm in, buddy. Let's go. It sounds good to me. I completely agree. I'll take it. I'm taking the Chiefs. No points straight up, man. No points straight up. I'll take the Chiefs tonight. And you know what? Just for the hell of it, let's do a little score prediction tonight. So where's everybody looking at the score tonight? Win or lose? What's everybody looking at? Because I'm looking at a game of a high-scoring game. I don't think they come out slow. I don't. I think they're going to come out guns a-blazing. I do. I think this is going to be like a 35-28 game. I do. I'm going to take 35-28. That's going to be my prediction. 35 Kansas City, 28 Houston. I think Will Fuller gets a couple TDs tonight. I do. I think he's able to stretch the defense. I think David Johnson gets in the end zone, and I think Deshaun Watson gets a rushing touchdown as well. I think there are 4 touchdowns that we see tonight. But I think McCole Hardman has a huge game tonight for the Kansas City Chiefs, because he's going to get lost in coverage out there. And like I said, that if that defensive line cannot get to Patrick Mahomes, and we've seen Patrick Mahomes, he has definitely shown some magic out there, right? Definitely. So now I'm committed. Oh, good. See, as long as your wife, Andre, listen, see, my wife's upstairs in the office working. We got 3 offices around here. This is my studio, and then we have an office space upstairs. So my wife doesn't hear this, so I don't have to stay committed. But as long as there is one female here watching the stream, with me and you, obviously Candace, my girl Candace, is watching as well. So as long as there's some female cred here, then yeah, I'm gonna have to stay committed as well. So let's go. We're all in, Andre. All in, 100%. Beautiful. Have it on the screen in the kitchen. That's wonderful, man. Listen, my man, you have been so loyal to this. And I've been doing this for a long time, and you've just come in guns a-blazing. I really appreciate it, man. Seriously, you are always, my boy Mikey V, you guys are always there. Every time I turn on, boom, you're the first 2 guys to join. I really appreciate it. Candace checking in. Chris Jones and Frank Clark go off. 30, right. Listen, people forget about Frank Clark. Right, we all know about Chris Jones, but people forget about Frank Clark. That was a trade a lot of people questioned when they traded for him from Seattle. A lot of people questioned that trade, and I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I questioned the D Ford move last year as well. I questioned that, and I'll tell you what. That offense, man. I mean, that defensive line is no joke. I'm not sold on the secondary. I'm not, but I just think this is a team that is going to have to play a couple games in Houston on offense to kind of get everything together because Deshaun was so used to having D-Hop out there. But one thing I will say, Deshaun's going to have to change his game this year, man. Deshaun's going to have to change it. I'm tired of seeing that boy get hit. Right, we've seen this for years with guys like Steve McNair and Michael Vick, Cam Newton, a mobile quarterback. I mean, we see it in Philadelphia with Carson Wentz. Right, we see you guys, you got to get down. You got to stop taking the hits. And I know we have alluded to Deshaun Watson as being the Michael Jordan of football. Honestly, I get it. But he needs to take it. He needs to take a backseat a little bit. He needs to take those 3-step drops, get the ball out quick. And I think that's one thing Brandon Cooks is going to give him. Brandon Cooks is very, very good yards after the catch. He's very good. He can go. He can. So if you're able to have Brandon Cooks going across the middle and then Will Fuller being able to stay healthy and then get down the seam, it's going to be a pretty decent offense. It is, and then because you have to take in consideration what David Johnson's going to do out in the backfield for real. Texans, wow, Andre's got a real close one, 24-21. I hope for you that Mr. Forbath can have some accuracy this year when it comes to the Houston Texans kicking game because my man Kai wasn't that great last year. So I hope he's kicking a under 40-yarder to win that game, Andre, because I think that's the way they win if that's the case. With only that's the thing too. The stands, the fans in the stands. I don't understand how we are allowing some fans in some states and some in others and not having anybody. It is such an advantage, whether it's small or not. It's interesting, but it is what it is. And I'm glad that some town, or I should say some states and cities are allowing this to happen because the NFL is all about fan interaction, right? And you're right, Andre, there's no major distractions. I'll tell you what, the biggest person to benefit from that is probably Kirk Cousins because he's a mental midget when it comes to crowd noise. So that's one thing Kirk Cousins is he's probably excited now that there is no crowd noise. I can tell you that. But yeah, I mean, even 16,000. I mean, Andre, listen, obviously Arrowhead it's a little different. They are a major distraction. They are the 13th man, like we've heard before when we talk about places also like Seattle and Philadelphia. But, 16,000 is enough, man. It is. I think people will definitely just be happy and ecstatic that we are playing a game. I do, and I think the players are going to be happy that we're just playing a game. I think all along they've just wanted to play, right? And think about this. Hey, Mike, if you're still watching, think about this. I understand that you talked about maybe those guys starting off slow, but take this in consideration as well. Mike even visited Arrowhead. Nice. That's amazing. I'll tell you what, I've heard some really big things. Andre, only 22% of capacity. You're right. Only 22%, but still, I think enough because that 22%, if they're loud enough, because I've watched some wrestling events already where they've had like a 5% capacity. And when you factor in some of that, it's not authentic, but when you factor some of the crowd noise that they contribute to the broadcast, I think that it'll give it a little different vibe. It will, but think about this: they didn't have to go through the 2-a-day training camps, right? They didn't have to go banging the pads for 4 to 6 weeks. So I think it's going to work in the opposite. I think that they're going to be more prepared this year to start off strong because they're not going to be tired. There was no preseason games. We were used to them starting the season and saying, "Oh, it's the preseason layover," right? How many times do we hear about the preseason layover? We've heard it year in and year out. You know what? We got to wait till game 2. Got to wait till game 3 because they rested the starters and they haven't played for a few weeks. And guess what? Now they didn't play at all, but they have they have no wear on their tread, man. So I think they're going to come out. They're going to come out hot. I really do. I think they're going to come out hot. That 13th man in Seattle, that was no joke, wasn't it? I just always hear about offense starting slow, especially Mike, you're right. I mean, listen, it's going to go one of two ways. I mean, it's definitely a justifiable comment. It really is. And obviously that's what makes us so great. We all have We all have opinions. It's just a matter of, are they going to come back or not? Jamar checking in. What's up, Jamar? How you doing, buddy? Football is back. Absolutely. Absolutely, Jamar. We're talking about the game tonight. We're talking about the game. We were talking about the Eagles, Cowboys a little bit. Now we changed directions. We're talking about the Chiefs and the Texans, what we expect to see tonight. Is it going to be a defensive battle? Is it going to be fireworks? We're going to start off strong. Score predictions. We got some, I'm 35-28. We got Candace at 35-20. We got Andre at 24-21. We got a lot of decent score predictions. We got Mike at 31-24. It's going to be interesting. It is, and I can't wait, man. I can't wait. Like I said, again, for everybody tuning in, make sure you follow the page at Heat Ratio Sports. Please give us and listen, for all you following, I really appreciate it. Dude, do me a favor. Go to the iTunes page, click on the iTunes Heat Ratio Sports and give me a little rating. Give us we do a lot of work for the podcast and we're trying to get as many reviews as possible. It definitely helps with sponsorships and it helps with people that are tuning in. I really appreciate everybody's support. So if you could do that for us, that would be great. And subscribe to the YouTube page as well. That would really be fantastic. And for all you fantasy people out there, don't forget Monday to Friday, you can hear me on the Daily Ticket on Fox Sports The Gambler, 3:50 p.m. and every Tuesday for the final judgment when we talk about everything, and I will be going live with fantasy stuff all the time. Mike, absolutely, Mike. We know you. Oh man, listen. I love every minute of this. You got to remember that. I love it at fan interaction. I started a Philly influencer 3 years ago. That was the biggest thing for me. I wanted to be able to react with fans. I wanted to be able to talk to people. I did, and I think that too much. When you hear hosts on the radio, they kind of just discount what people say and they kind of throw them to the wayside. And I can't stand that. I was on the other end of that spectrum, and I want to show everybody that you can be, you can be pretty strong with your opinions, and that's why I got the nickname Jigsaw. But you need to back it up a little bit, and that's what I've prided myself on. And you guys are one of the reasons why we keep going. Mike, then again, the DC hiccups, Mississippi. I mean, listen, again, the defense is what is making me pick the Kansas City Chiefs. It is. I just think that there's nobody in the Houston secondary. There's not. Ever since they lost Boye a few years ago, I just don't think there's anything that they can do, man. Anything they could do. Yeah, I like that. Listen, Andre, he put an exclamation point on it too. Fam interaction. No more fan. We graduate to fam. Absolutely. We are, I am a 100% Italian raised middle-aged male, and I have been preached nothing but family from my family. It's what I've always known, and I've said this before. I'm going to get deep here for a second because Andre brings up a good point. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I have kids of my own. I was brought up to have a tight-knit family. I was brought up to see no ethnicity. I was brought up to see no color. I was brought up to see no backgrounds. What I was brought up to see is human beings and people, man. And I treat everybody as a family. I run my own business. Okay. I run my own PR business, and I tell my clients straight up, I treat it like a family. You are not my clients. You are my family. And you know what? If I get burnt by a couple of people, that's okay. I'm good with that. Because I know 80% of the people are going to give me that same respect back. So I'm not worried about the bad apples out of the bunch, so to speak. So, and that's what I just want to say. We are a family. And the one thing, Molly, you know me, I get started. But one thing I will say, as a family, especially right here on this stream, when we go live, we are a family. So let me tell you something. I said this before. When this pandemic happened, I went into a really downslide, man. I've never been depressed before in my life. It never hit me like it did. I didn't know every day what was going to happen. I was scared for my family, my kids. I was scared about everything. And then I had to get through that. I had to get through that. I was in a dark place, and people like you guys have helped me become more passionate, right? People have helped me get through that, and I want to do that same to everybody else, man. We are a family. If you guys ever need anything, you guys need to talk, you guys just want to vent, you hit me up, man. Maybe you're feeling some kind of way. Molly, we've talked, right? Everybody, we've all talked. No matter what, I will still be here because this is a family, man. Straight up. When you hurt, we hurt. That's the way I look at it. Just like I don't have customers, I have supporters. Andre, Absolutely, man. You are a comment machine today, but you're absolutely right. I mean, it's the only way to be, Andre. You know what? Because more people will respect you for being credible and for being real and authentic than smoke and mirrors. Listen, and that's one thing. I'm in the PR business, man. I've learned how to be a publicist for many years, and I'm the owner of a public relations firm who works with producers and clients every day. And the one thing I will not do is take a money grab. I will not do it because number one, I can't live with myself. And number two, I want to make sure that everybody is paying and getting what they deserve, man. 100%. You're a great listener. Always on Molly. 100%. We're all there, right? We are all there together, and I've said that before, man. Let me $100 on JP. Listen, I think JP can lend us more than $100, man. I think if we hit JP up, I think he can lend us a little more than 100. But for real. Listen, as always, guys, use our why. I do what I do, and use are why I'm so passionate, and I look forward to this every day. I'm so glad I started this 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to continue to get this rolling, and I look forward to grabbing this microphone, getting in studio, and talking to all you guys. This is going to be a tremendous year when it comes to NFL football. We are going to be able to cover these games, get the instant reaction. No more waiting on hold. Listen, no more waiting on hold for 20 minutes to get your comment in, right? You can comment in right here. Go on Twitter, go on Facebook. Go on Instagram. I got to get that Instagram page up, man. If anybody listening, it wants to help out the Heat Ratio and be a part of the team, and help me out with the Instagram page, I would greatly appreciate it because I just ain't got no damn time, man. I ain't got no time, and I want to be able to hit everybody. So a lot of big things happening, man. A lot of big things happening. So listen, everybody, don't forget tonight. Tune in 9:15 Heat Ratio. We will be recording episode number 128. We will have the quad box back. We will be talking in-game live updates, right? We will be talking about the NFL as a whole, what our predictions are, who we feel like our Super Bowl predictions are. I'm not going to get into game by game. I think that is stagnant. I hate breaking down game by game because, listen, on paper, you can't make any predictions like that because teams change every single week, man. Every single week. Oh, by the way, I like that. Eagles are better. Cowboys is paper better. Eagles are real life better. That is like a true Eagle fan, and we're going to go out on that comment right there. So everybody remember, 9:15 tonight, p.m. Eastern time, Heat Ratio Sports. Join us, please. Get in, get your comments ready. Get your predictions ready. We're going to be asking who you feel, Super Bowl predictions, what we're looking like, Eagles predictions, what we're looking like, and just some fun stuff. Who you think the offensive MVP of the league will be this year? Who do you think the MVP will be of the team? Who do you think the best quarterback will be in football, best running back? We're going to go through it all, and we're going to have a lot of strong opinions. So we're going to have a fun show. We'll go 60, 90 minutes tonight, so give everybody enough time to get their comments in. And like I said, we'll have some live interaction for the game, too. So, again, Mike said, set your alarms. Absolutely. Set your alarms tonight, 9:15. And, again, if you can, go subscribe to the Heat Ratio Sports YouTube page and give us a rating on iTunes and give us a rating wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify. Really appreciate it. Andre, let's go. Another great show. Stay safe, stay healthy. See you tonight.